It's August, people, and you are checked in to the Heartbreak Hotel. This is your host, the handler of Ricky Stanton, who is also named Ricky. And it was a crazy show, a crazy, fantastic show, wasn't it? So much depth this time around. There's always depth in One Wrestle shows, but this was very different, especially for Ricky Stanton, especially. Great show. JPD, strap a rocket to the character and let's zoom it to the moon, baby. I had said this months ago that character deserves to be at the top of the line right now. We're seeing it happen, and the storytelling has been fantastic. Who was ready to see Ricky Stanton, the heel of heels, get basically, I ain't gonna say buried, but there's a little bit of grave dirt there, to say the least. Oh boy, great show. You are checked into the Heartbreak Hotel. Hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Just know that you are seen, heard, and validated. I know it's been a while since you've heard from me. Just been going through a lot, doing a lot of things. Just trying to take care of my family and take care of myself at the same time. I cannot emphasize the stresses enough. Please take care of your mental health. Please protect your peace. Protect your peace. Protect your peace. Make some changes. Do what you got to do. Because once things start happening to your body and you start feeling it, it takes a lot to backpedal and get things right again. And so take it from someone who knows. But nonetheless, though, things are going good. Things are going great. I'm chilling. I am in my peace. I'm not exactly where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. And that's where I will leave that at. So let's shift gears to some writing here. I had a question come in to me a couple of weeks ago. I have not had a chance to address it. How do I survive without being in a match? That's the question. And the answer is write. You need to write. You need to be writing segs. You need to be working with other Efeders on different bumps you can take, possibly. Something to get your character out front. I've worked with some very fantastic handlers, and one of the main things that's a common denominator amongst all of us is we don't have to have a match to be part of the show. We don't need a match to always be relevant in the Fed that we're a part of. And that's something that a lot of these young writers are having a hard time with because they don't see themselves carded. That's a great chance for you to do some character development and get your character understood a little bit more. And that helps the bookers, that helps the Fed head to see where you're going to be placed in the story. Because at the end of the day, we are telling stories. Don't forget that. This is not about wins and losses. This is about, can you tell a good story? And well, if you come to One Wrestle Movement, we tell some fantastic stories over there. Beginning with, let's talk about Hot Girl Summer 3. I have the grades, and this is overall outstanding show. Great show. I don't have Blood and Nation on the mic. That's my AI. She is currently charging. So I have to wait until my tablet charges up so I can have her co-host with me. Maybe that'll be next time. That'll give me some inspiration to do another Heartbreak Hotel. But I told Ray's, big shout out to Ray's, that I was going to do an episode this week because I could not let Hot Girl Summer 3, I could not let this show go past without saying something. It was a good show. It was a really good show. If you have not checked it out, go to onewrestlemovement.proboards.com. Let me make sure I get that correct. Yes, onewrestlemovement.proboards.com. Go there and look in the results area, and you will see Hot Girl Summer 3, and it's definitely an excellent read. Grab a cup of coffee, get your breakfast together, and let it fly. It is an awesome show. So let's start from the top. These are results coming from Blood and Nation. That was my AI Fed that I had a couple of years ago, but then after the powers that be changed up their API settings, I've had a hard time getting it back online. We've tried a few variations, but nothing's really stuck just yet. So we'll just wait and see what time shows us. So let's start with the opening corporate angle. I thought that was really, really good. I thought it was a great crescendo to back and forth dialogue that JPD and the One Wrestle folks have had over the past couple of months with him going for the jugular. He wanted to be not just the top guy, but wanted to be managing the top. And that was a story told very well. At first, I didn't know where that was going. I really didn't. I was not really part of that conversation, but I watched it and said, okay, well, let's see what happens. Because as y'all know, for the past couple of years, it's been a power struggle between One Wrestle, Samson, and Stanton. And even Stanton starts bringing up the lore of One Wrestle, how this thing kind of all got started between him, Eric Wright, Cedric, Samson, about how, this idea came about for this promotion, and how SE did a lot of advertising a couple of years ago. And this is indeed true. SE did a lot of advertising for One Wrestle. That is actually a little fourth wall there for you. And then, of course, years later, things would kind of change up a little bit. And then there was, the constant storyline that kind of hummed in the background about One Wrestle's position in regards to being sold, staying, ratings up, ratings down, stuff like that. Well thought out story being told there by a good buddy Tate there. Always a good guy to work with. And so it was something that was very interesting. And then we see out of nowhere, JPD, he starts rising up in the ranks, really getting a lot of good looks, a lot of good mic work, always a good read with the mic work. And then he goes for the jugular. He goes for it. Ultimate villain stuff. There was some real good heel shit there. JPD, I'm not going to lie, it was very Stanton-esque. Very Stanton-esque, but I couldn't help but to shake my head as I was reading. I was like, this is some good shit. This is good. So then we see the crescendo here. Opening corporate angle, I gave that an A. Well, Blooded Nation did. Gave it an A. The AI said the Samson Southern power struggle immediately gave the show a major event atmosphere and created a compelling dilemma for Jace Parker Davidson. It ran a little long, but the competing clauses, counters, and motivations remain surprisingly clear. I can agree with that. It wasn't, not really, because it wasn't really that long of a segment, but it was a stacked segment with a lot of stuff that you really got to slow down and make sure you're reading, because they're really throwing in everybody threw their cards out on the table, and that's pretty much what it came down to. And then we move into the American Genocide versus Kimberly Hart versus Solomon Monster. American Genocide, I don't know a lot about, but Kimberly and Solomon, I know a great deal about. Solomon, we've done some work together over the years during that Supreme MMA when I had my other character, Bo A. Constrictor, over there. So that's where I met Solomon Monster's handler. Always a good writer. Very consistent. I like that. The character remains consistent. But anyway, my AI said American Genocide received a strong return, while Kimberly and Solomon's dysfunctional partnership added tension through the match. Solomon's post-match attack advanced the rivalry effectively, although the excessive interference made the finish feel familiar. Again, consistent. The only thing that I think was a little bit out of character might have been Solomon's attack. He's always been one of those OG type of guys. Always talking about, these young folks, not doing right. So again, B+, I gave it a B+. Marisol Rivera, Kaleo, and the Morettis. B, solid physical tag match. So that was good. And I think this was a good establishing match. The injuries provide logical storytelling, but the match needed more time and drama to become more memorable. And I think as these characters are developing, that will indeed happen. JPD versus Madison Carter. I personally, beyond the AI gave it an A. I gave it an A+. I think a lot of the numerous stakes turned every pin, submission, possible intentional loss to a meaningful moment. Madison's rope-assisted victory was an excellent finish because she gained the title opportunity and half the academy while leaving Jace with the GM position he wanted. And of course there was a little bit more with that going along. So I really thought that was something that I could see it in my head. And when I can see matches in my head, that's a good match. And I think it, for someone like JPD and Madison, it really has to come down to desperate measures because they're both great wrestlers. And I think the way that happened was really good, because it came down to win at any cost because we're both very good wrestlers and I got to do this. I got to get this job done. Then we see the return of Brianna Matthews. As we know, the last time we saw Brianna, she was with Ricky Stanton. They were married for a short period of time. She carried the Tidebreaker and became the Broken Bride. Still one of my favorite arcs in the Tidebreaker Championship story, the Broken Bride. I really, really enjoyed watching that develop. So she comes back, delivers a sincere promo that clearly explained her absence and establishes a new mindset. The message becomes repetitive in places, while America's constant interruptions occasionally prevented the emotional moments from breathing. Bang gave it a B+. And then there's Joe Nobody versus Aiden Lionvale, A-. Always getting the accidental championships is a great pop. That's somebody texting me there. Forgive me. I have a lot going on. Getting the accidental championships out there is always good because it just kind of, brings a bit of surprise to the show. And here's somebody named Joe Nobody getting a belt. So I think that was great. A-. Seductive Trinity versus Trouble Rocks, B. Received the energetic return while Seductive Trinity retained through tactics consistent with their characters. Corporate Crew's material is amusing, but the match relied heavily on interference and distractions already used elsewhere in the show. I guess I can agree with that a little bit. Moving on to Amy Santino, Curtis King, Chris Mosh, B+. Three-way structure created steady action and allowed each competitor to remain important. Mosh countering King's finisher into a triangle choke was sharp. Credible finish, and although Amy became somewhat secondary during the decisive match, still a good match nonetheless. And then we get Reigns versus Andrew Reigns. Now, this was a good build over the past couple of months. The main event delivered the promising spectacle, violence, and a decisive world championship change. The shotgun and hanging imagery pushed beyond wrestling brutality into territory that may overwhelm the rivalry rather than enhance it. I'm not really down with that type of review. I'm going to say this. It was a good build. I think that a lot of what was going on with JPD, whether or not he was going to get that GM position, might have competed with attention on this match right here. But nonetheless, though, definitely a very good main event match there. B+. So promos and backstage segments, I gave that a B. Commentary, B. Booking and continuity, A-. Pacing, my AI gave it a C+, but I don't think that's the case. I think we got a lot of new characters that are getting established. So you got to slow down and let the characters breathe just a little bit, Blooded Nation, so get with it. Presentation and writing, B. Overall show, B+. Blooded Nation says, Hot Girl Summer was ambitious, eventful, and successful at dramatically changing the direction of One Wrestle Movement. I firmly agree with that, and that's why I'm giving it an A. It would have reached the A range with tighter editing, less repeated interference, and a main event that trusted wrestling violence without escalating into attempted execution. I don't know. I think that's a preference there. I think maybe my AI might be a little traditionalist. I don't know. I myself am not. I think, in telling a good story, I think for Ray's, that main event, it had to come to that because Ray's is a straight edge. And to see that type of match come from Ray's, well, it was different and good. It kind of showed a little bit of reach, a little bit of breadth there. It wasn't just about him being one of the OGs in the Fed, but it's also a guy that can still roll with the punches and show that he can still be at the boss level when he needs to be. So overall, very, very good show. As I said, I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. So let's move to some writing thoughts here. First of all, this is where taking time to really develop a character really matters to the bookers in the Fed. I cannot emphasize this enough. You really, really, really need to take some time out, focus on your development. Really focus on that. That's something I'm going to be doing for the next couple of months, as a matter of fact. Because right now, as you see Ricky's story, like I said earlier in the show, he's not buried, so to speak, but he's got a little bit of grave dirt on him. You can definitely see where the Fed is trying to push past characters like mine, but not in a disrespectful way, but trying to say that was then, this is now. We're in a new season. We got some new people we want to give a try. These Ricky Stantons of the world, they're always going to be around, even to the point where they are discrediting his influence in One Wrestle, his company's influence in One Wrestle, and then double down in a CD that just came out today, I believe, where him and Cedric and Samson are laughing about it. Like, it's complete, like, we are canceling Stanton. We are getting him out of the conversation piece. And that is an angle I never saw coming. I never saw that coming. That's not something that I thought would ever be a part of the story. But what happens now? JPD's the general manager, and Samson is getting everything he wanted. Cedric is happy with how everything is going. What do you do now, One Wrestle? What are you going to do with three people that are actually in agreement to a certain degree? Where does this go for Stanton? Stanton has always been the outlier. Always the guy who does his own thing, even though he had the GM position, and everybody, was like, oh, this guy, everything's going crazy on Glory, this, that. He's just doing whatever he wants to do, which he did. He did. So now we're going into a season where the writing has changed. And we now have a person that is vowing to, I guess, for lack of better words, run it right down the middle. That's what JPD is claiming he's going to do. Run it right down the middle. And so that's going to be interesting. That really is. Because he comes off as a very, very nuclear strong face, but he's not really a face. He's kind of a heel, but he's not really a heel. So is he a true tweener? No, I wouldn't say that. I would say he's an opportunist, a strategist. Just when you think you know what he wants, you really don't know what he wants. And in the end, he got what he wanted. Or did he? We don't know. That's what I enjoyed about this show. I sat there and read it and was like, wow, it sparks the mind to write. If you are not writing from this show, if you have not developed anything from this show, then you're not really taking in your character, and that's something that for me, I took in everything. I took in everything that was written about Stanton and said the dismissal. Oh, the dismissal was crazy. And then the double down on the dismissal. Oh my gosh. I was like, what? Oh boy. I love good writing. It was something to read there. My glasses fogged up. I was like, what in the world? So it's going to be good. What is Stanton going to do next couple of weeks, next couple of months? How is he going to handle this? We have no idea. Even if he does decide to handle it, we don't know. There are so many ways to take this as a heel. You're the bad guy in the story. And now, for the first time in a long time, they have finally managed to stomp out a certain part of that light. So there's so many ways to take this now, and that's always exciting for writing when you find that fork in the road and like, okay, well, I got to choose one, but there's so many awesome choices. What do I do with this? So we'll see what happens. Also, I want to talk about the other arc I'm working on over in Splat, on the Splat Network. If you are not on there, please go and support Splat Network. Great people over there. I've been knowing that handler for years that runs that. Great person. lovely vision for creativity. And I definitely want to put that person over right now and let them know that you are seen. I mean, it's great material over there. I have a character over there, Joseph Joestar Stanton. He is the cousin to Ricky Stanton, even though he thinks he's the uncle. But he's the cousin because him and Bobby are cousins. And so Joestar, he was not really in wrestling. He worked at Stanton Enterprises, doing little odd jobs during his college years, and then finally seeing what his father Bobby had done in his wrestling career, and wondering why he was never encouraged to wrestle, with Ricky pretty much saying, hey, he didn't want you wrestling. He wants you to live your life somewhat different, but the Joestar can't help himself, and he goes into it. Joestar Stanton will be a face for the time being. So to see a Stanton on the good side of life will be interesting. He loves the Stanton identity, the money and, everything that comes with running a company, but he does not want Ricky's spirit around him. He wants to be more positive. He wants to do things the right way. He wants to be a good guy. So we will see how long that stands in Splat Wrestling. We will see how long that stands. Very well-written shows over there. If you got a starter character, go ahead over there, drop that character there, and let them do their magic. I think it will help you if you're ever thinking about starting a character and then transferring them over to a federation like One Wrestle. That is level 1. That's where I would start in character development. That way, by the time you get that character into a Fed, there's not a lot of work to do. You got some history, you got some stuff you can work with, and you can take it from there. And I think that's really all I have. I don't think I have anything else right now. Of course, if you have any topics you want to talk about, you're always feel free to DM me on X at PRS_2pretty4you, PRS_2pretty4you. You can go to One Wrestle X page and you can find me connected there. If you forget, it's all good. And I'm going to try to post a little bit more on X. I've just been going through a lot of mental things and just haven't been there, so to speak. But I got good friends that have been checking in on me, and I thank y'all for that. I really do appreciate it. It's been very motivating to have people like that in your corner. But yeah, looking forward to seeing where all this goes in the months ahead. Should be a great fall season in One Wrestle. If you have not tried to come into One Wrestle, come on in. We are an Angle Fed. We got a lot of great shows, Glory being one of them. We got some great pay-per-views all the time. Legendary is our other show, so definitely come on over and check us out. Got a lot of great writers, great OOC. We have great chat. And so I just thank them for their hospitality towards one another and their camaraderie, because otherwise I probably wouldn't be doing this right now. I wouldn't be doing it. I can't have that negativity around me. I just block people now. I just block them. I don't need it. I'm on blood pressure medication. I don't need my hobby to be a stressor with everything else that I got going on. So if you live like that through your character and you take it all crazy, I'm just going to block you and life is going to go on. I'm a grown ass man. I'm not going to have to deal with that stuff. So, just stay positive out there. Stay pretty, stay positive, and know that, that you are loved and seen. Don't crash out. Don't let your light go out, and just know that, someone out there cares for you. Someone out there is looking out for you. Someone is reading your material. Someone sees your character, and you just got to make yourself available to do something with your character. The biggest portion of any good writing with other people is availability. If you want your character to be available for something, reach out. I do it all the time. And if you're not reaching out and your character's on an island in communication, well, that's why things aren't going the way they're going for you, because you're not doing what is needed. Build some relationships, build some communications, or you're not going to really enjoy this hobby, as we call it, that we all have. And I think that's it. I think that's all I got. I've got to go do some other work right now, but God bless you. Have a smile upon you. I think that's my cat at the door. I'm in my office right now, and so my cat is like meowing at the door because he cannot break through those French doors. Yes, I have this very cool office. It has French cabinets, French doors. Very, very nice. I have my little toy hunt collection in here. I have AEW's Penta and Ray Phoenix and a few other characters behind plastic. And yeah, been doing a little bit of everything. So, all right, it's time to go. Y'all stay motivated, stay blessed. Y'all take care.